would make a man who seemingly has it all blow up his own life? We are about to closely examine surveillance videos inside of this home in Aurora, Colorado that was once the abode of Dr. James and Angela Craig. Imagine living in this gorgeous 6-bedroom, 8-bathroom, 6,325 square foot house with your wife of many years and your 6 children. Why would anyone trade living here for living in a cell at the Bent County Correctional Facility instead? We're going to dive deeply into the 2023 surveillance videos that expose the life of the now 47-year-old one-time dentist and reveal the clues in those interactions with his wife that led him to the horrific actions he eventually took. Instead of spending gorgeous days soaking up the sunsets with his family, or perhaps walking peacefully down to the stream of water behind his home, James chose the route of juggling extramarital affairs, poisoned protein shakes, and more. Let's take a look. The surveillance videos plunder true crime received that were taken in the kitchen and living room of the home that Colorado dentist James Craig shared with his wife, Angela Craig, mother of his 6 children, begin early in the morning of February 20th, 2023. It was one day before James would travel to Las Vegas for a dental conference and meet a new woman. February 20th, 2023. Early in the morning, 6:36 a.m. It's difficult to see the actual date time stamp on the videos because they are body cam video recordings of surveillance videos in the kitchen and living room. However, when I put different filters on these videos, it becomes easier to see the timestamps. The videos skip forward randomly, as if whomever gathered these videos for trial were searching for important moments. Angela is awake early and appears to drink a protein drink. Has that drink been tampered with by her husband yet? If not, they would be soon.
I just started that.
James kisses her at the fridge. They are affectionate with one another. They whisper, likely because they don't want to awaken any of their 6 children. James appears to scoop the ubiquitous, ever-present protein powder out of a tub. The couple laughs together. James puts his arm around Angela's waist.
So wait until a different Oh, all right.
Before that morning video ends, Angela takes a sip of her protein drink and exhales. Later that same day, at 6:08 p.m., James comes home and kisses Angela. His arms are full of packages and mail.
It really does. Way back in the garage a second and go, hi! And I went, honey, stop out the garage. Every time I get a package in the mail, I'm like, I should order I know, I was like, don't be dumb, Jim. There's an end to it, you know. My closet is always open.
A brown package has been delivered, and he opens it in the kitchen. There is an end to it, you know, Angela says, speaking about a full closet.
Yes, this is over there. Open? Yeah. Yep. I don't know, it's just me. It's a FedEx.
Perhaps she's calling James out for his shopping habits.
Oh, good. My custom shoes that I've been ordering are starting to come in. Oh. What? Custom shoes that you've been ordering? How many are there? I think 3 pairs. From where? So there's like Amazon and eBay stuff. See, look at these. That is a beautiful shoe edge. That is super blue. I know, I like it. Okay, what are you going to wear it with? My gray suit and a blue shirt when I speak in Las Vegas.
James shows Angela a new pair of shoes he bought. Genuine leather, he sings happily.
Those are so cool. You what? The soul is genuine leather. The story with the prince on top.
Within 6 days, James would text his new mistress, Cain. Also, I really don't have a huge shoe fetish, but just in the last couple of weeks, I have wanted to get some shoes made in a very particular way. So I had a few pairs custom made. You already saw the blue ones in Vegas, but when I got home, these ones were waiting for me. According to the court files, James returned home from Las Vegas on February 25th, 2023. From the interviews we've watched of his mistresses, we know James met Cain, an orthodontist, while they waited in line at that conference. No wonder a huge 256-page document linked to below shows tons of Google Voice text messages between James and Karin. It begins with messages on February 25th, 2023. One more kiss? Karin texted him at 6:19 p.m. Then she wrote, "Thank you so much for accepting me in all my complex needs. I can't believe today ended like this. I genuinely thought I would avoid you today when I woke up so ill at ease. I love this feeling. I'm gonna so enjoy missing you." James replied, "Complex needs? You don't seem that complex to me." unique and beautiful and deep and thought-provoking and attractive, but I wouldn't use the word complex. It seems to me that what you need is to emotionally connect, to be vulnerable, and to be loved where you are. If that's what you need, I will try to be the man for you." He continued, "The way your body wraps around mine, the beautiful way you communicate, the way you open up so easily, so naturally." Meanwhile, as James and Karin texted about being like high school sweethearts that were not dumb, Angela likely had no clue that 21 days later she would be declared brain dead. February 26th, 2023. Here now begins a sick and sinister countdown to James imagining himself free from the bonds of marriage, like he told his mistress he was already in the process of doing via divorce. At 1:48 p.m., James texts Karin, "Hey, Smoke Show, I could use a picture." Only 3 minutes later, at 2:21 p.m., James enters the living room area and appears to kiss Angela, who is sitting on the sofa, perhaps with a heating pad. "Hello, Father," says his daughter, innocently cooking.
Hello, Father. Father, I accidentally had lost the pen.
10 minutes after kissing his wife, James will explain to his mistress why he hates his wife's nickname. Karin tells James, "It makes me feel something uneasy when you call her by what seems like a pet name or a nickname." Remember, James told Karin that he had filed for divorce from Angela, so Karin's probably wondering what's up with the term of endearment. James tells Karin, "I hate the name Ange. My best friend in high school had a sister named Angela, and everyone called her Ange. I didn't like her, so I didn't like the name Ange either. But everyone called my wife Ange, her whole family, so I did too. Everyone I know calls her that. It's definitely not a pet name. I hate it, actually. The only reason I ever call her Angela is because Siri doesn't know how to spell the word Ange, so I use that word when doing voice to text. Having heard that, if you still prefer I call her by her full name, I will try to do that from now on. Also, I think that little twinge of jealousy you just shared is so attractive. I love that for some reason. Again, makes me feel like you're serious." Only a few days after meeting this woman, the Colorado dentist starts laying it on thickly to the divorced and obviously vulnerable then 49-year-old Karin. Get this, the dental conference only lasted from February 22nd through the 25th, and by February 26th at 9:28 p.m., James texts Karin, "Here's a statement with absolutely no typos and no nuance and no hint of irony. I love you." And that is real. It is the same day that James searched for undetectable poisons and ordered arsenic. Around that same time, James had met 3 women on Seeking.com, a dating website. February 27th, 2023. James was certainly up early, texting Karin at 5:24 a.m. "Hello and good morning from the gym. I loved everything that you wrote to me." He may have gotten an early start that day with his wife, too. One video makes it impossible to tell the time, no matter how much I zoom and how many filters I put on the videos. But it is light outside, so it's not before sunrise.
Sure you have a hotel room? You could see the food can go off. You could get your own room. And you could just say, "I'll hang out with you guys, but you must know where I need to sleep." You're so tired. You really could. I know, because she called me. I think she found one for like 3,000. Oh, that's not bad. No, but it's like it's like buying a printer dollars. It's pretty cheap up front, but all the ink is super expensive. You know what I mean? Yeah, but she said that with the schedule that she has now. Are we saving this? No, we aren't now. I was because we were still drinking. Honey, don't do that. That's so gross. Oh. That's how I ended up with crap all over my floor on the he's always putting liquids in my trash.
I'm pretty sure it's Nora's fault.
Yeah, well, we could blame her. But she said right now she is scheduled such that she's only charging like $15 an hour or $20 an hour or something for lessons.
Whoa.
Because she's just doing basic kid lessons for little kids. And she wanted to make it cheap and easy. And she said, but I'll make enough to more than cover their board and potentially any vet bills. She said, I'll make about $1,200 a month. Just
She was working for that guy, right? The independent guy that
stopped that forever ago. She's been looking for a job since before her wedding, honey.
She never talked to me. I thought she was just working for him still.
No, she was working for him till Adam came back from Texas.
Oh, she was just filling in for him? Oh, I didn't know that.
So because Adam was and they needed some extra help. So she kind of took Adam's spot for.
Is that why she's going?
Well, yeah, no, because I forced her.
Oh.
Her patriarchal blessing specifically says family history. Like, there's really no room for interpretation on that. About what she's supposed to be doing family history.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're going to start doing it, or you're going to get up there, and Jesus is going to be like, the pre-entry family history room's right there, Tony.
For what?
The pre-entry.
Oh.
Come in here because you do what you were told.
It's like the opposite of being dumped off the right in the gift shop. You have to enter heaven through that.
Yeah. And then like the pre-entry family history room. Let's see what other rooms he got put up there that he's like, go have a turn before you come in. You didn't even try.
Alright, we'll see you later.
Good day.
I don't know what was important about that timeless previous video. Perhaps it was the fact that Angela scolded James for not pouring out the bottle contents prior to putting it in the trash. Anyway, that same day, James was texting Karin about wanting a faithful woman who loves God, who is such a good kisser, extremely passionate.
Do you remember the food in here? Hey.
Oh, I gotta get going. Alright.
No, you got quick.
That was quick. Yeah, baby. Bye, girl. Can I have that before? Love you. See you later.
At 11:52 a.m., James was obviously lost in thought, ignoring Angela, perhaps because he had been busy bragging and lying to Karin that morning, texting her that a normal month for my office is around $220,000 gross production. My personal income ranges from $20,000 a month on a light month to $40,000 on a big one. Funny he didn't tell her about all the financial problems he was having, like others would testify to later. Angela walks out with James and removes some items from a white vehicle before James drives off in it. She appears to go back to her mom and wife duties, playing referee between the kids, shouting in the background. Meanwhile, James continues his voluminous texting with Karin, talking about everything from love, hair removal, tithing 10% of his increase, marriage, gaslighting, and of course he mentions that stupid song called Enough. James wrote to Karin, I went home over lunch and worked on your song some more. I love how it's turning out.
Her life was bleak and bare, like standing in a lonely line. She saw him standing there, his laugh, his happy mind. The moment he reached out and held her hand and heart, his eyes erased her doubts, love's knowledge to impart. She's finally recognized.
Go put your stuff away. Why are you yelling at your sister? She's not yelling at me. Downstairs.
I don't know why they keep moving the cursor across these videos or what they're trying to show us. Perhaps the cup. When he returns home at 6:19 p.m., that doesn't stop his texting to his mistress. At 10:01 p.m. that night, James texts Karin, "I was worried that you might not like being my totally hot smoke show trophy wife." Then he corrected himself, writing, "Crap, crap, crap. It's late. Please don't hold the word wife against me. Dang, autocorrect. I meant to write date, and Siri changed it to wife. Pay no mind, pay no mind." The duo continued to text until past midnight Mountain Time. James tried to impress her by writing stuff like, "Karin, I hope you know that I love you, not because of your brains or your beauty or your humility or your love for me, although they all have a right to their pulchritudinous bloom." Karin wrote back, "Heart melted. Just watched the fountain video to cement this moment. I can't put you down. Truly addicted. 8 days." I guess she wasn't referencing only knowing him 8 days at that point, because she hadn't even known James that long. It was more like 5 days at this juncture. Instead, I believe they had originally planned to see each other in 8 days following these texts.
Son is currently annoyed with me because I heard about everything he's complaining. He started a conversation with you sometimes saying, "I have heart trouble." And I was like, "I'm sure you do. He did. You actually have anxiety." And I actually went back to it, like, "Would you like to know how many doctors you saw in the case of this communicable disease class?"
That's leprosy.
That was pre-medication. I'm sure you do feel like you have heart problems, even though the doctor's like, "You don't have heart problems, and the antibiotics are making you feel better." But I did reach out and ask him this morning. I was like, "Are you feeling better?" And he's like, "Yeah, actually, I'm feeling a lot better." But then like half an hour ago, sometimes I worry that I have heart problems. And he doesn't like everything I'm talking about. I'm like, "Remember all the things I said? I bet you have anxiety. Stop eating Taco Bell at 9 a.m., which I already gave crap for this morning. And exercise." He's like, "But what about my whole left side feels numb?" So I told him what was going on with my left shoulder. He goes, "But I have a massage." And I was like, "I've had weeks of chiropractic care and massages and dry needling and regular exercise, and I'm just now..."
Numb left side, heart problems, dry needling.
Ugh, how inconvenient. I'm sure it is.
You guys just confirm it. You know how he is, but I started texting me if he hasn't heard from him. By 4 p.m. Commissioner still on. He called me after he saw Mark Sharp there. If you just chill, he eventually gets his face, and he doesn't mind. So I was right around and being trapped inside that flash for like 3 hours. He just didn't know that conversation with people. I'm getting age. there's nothing wrong with her. I understand. I need to check with Jared. Make sure it's the one for you.
When was the last time you ate a vegetable that wasn't attached to fast food?
What do you say to that?
I said, well, I made soup with Toscana the other day because I wanted it, and I've been eating it for 3 days now. Boom, roasted. Boom, roasted. I was like, oh, good, so you had some spinach. And from walking in Idaho, uphill to school. I know that walk. Even in shape, it was hard.
Yeah.
That campus is really.
Yeah, it is.
They said, and also, you're out of shape. At least when he was on his mission, he was trying a little bit to exercise with his companions, and he was walking
a lot.
everywhere all day, way more than he is now.
Well, they're in the business of the park.
That's true. But they were working out and going for long walks. Remember, his mission president made them. He was walking for like 3 hours a day.
I thought it was an hour. Was it longer than
3 hours.
Wow.
1.5 hour walk.
Oh,
They had to just go out and like wander.
I didn't know that.
And he had a couple companions that were runners that he ran with a little bit because I remember him complaining about it. Which I don't blame him. I complain about it too.
February 28th, 2023. It sounds like Angela was saying a doctor told her to shape up. I don't know, it is difficult to hear. Either way, that same day, James searches the phrase, how to make murder look like a heart attack. Early that morning, James told Karin, I think I told you yesterday how from time to time I will fast for a specific purpose for 2 meals and donate the money to the poor and needy. I just wanted to let you know that today I am having a fast. I am fasting out of gratitude and thanks for God putting us together.
Floss and brush my teeth. I guess I'm headed back.
That's good. And you totally sent. You don't know. And by the way, this is running. She's like, there's this song that I like that says, what did she say? She was like, that's okay, there's the song like, I'm not your toy, you stupid boy.
That's great.
She's like, that's living rent free in my head right now.
Living rent. Alright, I'll see it.
Did you see it? See, now you taste like toothpaste.
Oh, I brushed my teeth.
What's wrong with your mouthwash?
I don't know.
How come it's not minty?
It is.
How come it doesn't smell minty?
My toothpaste is not.
Maybe you should just make some of your toothpaste with water and mouthwash it.
Ugh.
Mouthwash, and you're like, almost.
Almost.
You almost got it.
Are you coming to the temple with me tonight?
Oh, crap. Talk to Belle about it.
You don't have to, if it's going to stress you out. I know you probably have to pack and stuff still.
She's feeling super frustrated. The sound wasn't working on the tablet, and I had to... Fine, but it was stupid. It was basically the website.
Oh.
And the printers, the HP printers, HP has an app now, and they want you to run all the printing through the app, and the app tries to get you to buy HP ink through HP instead of blah, 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 whatever. And I don't like using their app. I prefer to just do direct printing over the Wi-Fi network, right? But now it wouldn't let me. I couldn't find, like, my computer could see the printer and I could add it as a device, but it wouldn't print to it unless I set up the app and added the printer. But when I set up the app, I'm like, fine, I'll set up this freaking app. So I set up the stupid app. So then it's like HP Smart Print. That's what it says instead of a printer name. But then the app couldn't find its own stupid printer. So I had to go through the whole process of manually adding the printer to its own app. Because I couldn't find it.
So dumb.
And I was like...
The reason I don't like printing all of our print jobs through an app is because that means whoever owns that app gets to see everything you're printing.
Yeah.
Technically. I don't like that. It's a visual
Well, it's not even really an app. It says launch app, but it didn't put an app on my computer. It says times before it actually prints.
Oh my God.
Yes, print. Yes, pick that computer. Yes, print. What is happening?
That's so dumb.
Yeah, so anyway,
Let me know about the double.
technology and I don't get along very well.
Yeah, let me know.
I'm just gonna start drinking. Like, really, not that this is all personal.
Angela followed James to the door, but he had other things on his mind. Earlier, he sent a text to Karin. Now that you are awake, I wanted to ask you to elaborate on something that you said in Las Vegas. You said that I am aggressive. I'm just wondering what you meant by that and if it's a good thing or not. She explained her feelings to him. Later, at 4:23 p.m., James made sure to tell Karin, fighting with Ange all afternoon. When Karin asked, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I hate fighting. Is it because she's about to leave town?" James wrote, "No. It's because she got into our bank account and saw that I had a charge for California Pizza Kitchen that was a big enough charge to cover 2 people. I don't think she fully understands what it means to be getting divorced. It means I can spend my time with whoever I want to, and I don't have to justify reasonable purchases like that." James continued searching for poisons and lying to Karin about divorcing Angela. At 9:16 p.m. on February 28th, he wrote, "I came home and the lights in the master suite were on, so I thought she'd be back here packing. Not there. Main floor TV wasn't on. No sign of her. I went upstairs and she was half asleep in the guest bedroom watching a show on her phone, and I came in and asked her if I could talk to her. I sat on the edge of the bed and she did not make eye contact. I said to her, I really do want to divorce you. We're not going back and trying again. This is for real." And she just looked off in the distance and quietly said, "Okay." I waited a minute to see if she had anything else to say, and it didn't seem like she did, so I told her that I'm not going to be the kind of husband that is trying to screw her over, and I want to be fair, and I will give her half of everything. It's not going to be like one of her sisters who has had to fight and fight and fight her ex. She didn't say anything, and I finished it off by saying, I'm just not good at being married to you, and I'm not happy, and I don't think you are either, and we both deserve a chance at a greater happiness than the two of us can provide each other. Again, no response, so I just said, okay, I guess that's all I had to say if you don't have anything. Another pause, then I stood up and walked out. March 1st, 2023. Angela goes to Utah this day. James asks the internet, how long does it take to die from arsenic poisoning? When Karin didn't hear from him, in less than 1 hour, James replied, "Oh, wow. So to calm your nerves, you didn't upset me at all. I know you have my back." She barged in pissed. "I kind of figured it was the calm before the storm. I'll have to update you. I love that screenshot with your girlfriend. I'm still here. Still yours. Can't wait to tell you all about tonight." Later, Karin spammed text James, as if she believes he's in some kind of danger from his estranged wife. "So happy you didn't get murdered in your sleep. Answer to my morning prayers. God is good." On March 1st, James had several days before Angela would come back home, so he took advantage of her time away to text Karin even more kinky things. Plus, he was solidifying his plan to end his wife's life. "Do you want to FaceTime with me tonight?" James asks Karin early that morning. They go on to engage in such a deep exchange of feelings. It is difficult to believe these two people have just met one another. Around 9:21 p.m., James wrote to Karin, "Seeing you live was electric for me. I am in a whole new place, a whole new level." On March 4th, the arsenic was delivered. On March 5th, Angela returned from Utah. According to the court documents, on March 6th, around 5 a.m., James microwaves and mixes a pink shaker. However, this video wasn't in the case file I received. Sometime after 5:16 a.m., Angela drinks the pink shaker. At 6:28 a.m., James went to the office. Within the hour, Angela texts, "My head feels funny and dizzy." She searches the phrase, "Pre-workout supplement made me dizzy and eyes are blurry" an hour later. Angela texts, "I feel drugged." Before 10 a.m., Angela and James go to Parker Adventist Hospital. At 1:40 p.m., Angela and James return home. Before 5 p.m., James goes back to the office. Coworker Caitlin Romero sees James in a dark room, using a computer that wasn't his. James orders oleander around 5:16 p.m., the same time Angela searches dizziness, slow focus, tired, head pressure, hearing distortion. Around 6 p.m., James texts Caitlin about a personal package he was expecting to arrive for him at the office and search for tetrahydrozoline poisoning timeline. Angela searched the symptoms, sudden onset of heaviness and lethargy and chills, and goes to Parker ER. On March 7th, Angela has an urgent care visit. James and Angela argue about a drug panel. On March 8th, around 7 or 8 a.m., James emailed Duke, a bioscience company, regarding oleander. "Wanted to make sure it will be here this morning," he writes. James leaves home around 11:45 a.m. He sends another email to Duke about the oleander. So I'm guessing it hasn't shipped yet. That afternoon, James drives from his office to Midland Scientific. Later, he searches for U.S. environmental and lab supplies. He returns to the office, searches and calls the science company. James emails Duke once again about oleander, very disappointed that it sounds like it hasn't even shipped yet. Around 5 p.m., James calls Midland Scientific. He orders cyanide, writing, "Hopefully this is in stock and I can come pick it up tomorrow." Late that night, James purchases 12 bottles of eye drops from King Soopers. He is seen with a black shaker bottle. March 9th, 2023. Early, around 5 a.m., James preps a white cup and black shaker and later takes the white cup to the bedroom. At 6:30 a.m., he gives the black shaker to Angela on the couch. Within hours, Nikki Harmon checks Angela's blood sugar. Annabelle takes her mother Angela to Parker. A short time later, James emails Duke regarding the oleander. "Please fill this order as soon as possible." He sends his second of 12 emails to Midland about the cyanide. "I hope we can still get this overnighted." A few hours later, he emails Duke about the oleander. "Is it possible to get a Saturday delivery?" His 10th email to Midland about the cyanide says, "So inconvenient. Will it still ship for a Saturday delivery?" Later, James inspects a black shaker. Back at it that night, James is in the kitchen with a syringe, and he mixes a substance. James buys 7 more bottles of eye drops. March 10th, 2023, early before 8 a.m., James texts a Marine, expecting a priority package. He gets an email from Duke saying only larger 5 milligram units of oleander are available. Around 10 a.m., James texts a Marine, "Any mail for me? I wanted to swing by and grab that." James emails Midland about cyanide. Tracking information for this shipment, James calls Midland as Angela texts him, "My head hurts so bad." James emails Duke about the oleander. "I just really would like it by tomorrow." Whether it's 3 milligrams directly from the lab or the 5 milligrams you have on hand. About an hour later, James texts Angela, "Have the doctors said if you're going home today or not?" Later, James texts a Marine, "I'm going to go in the morning. It's coming tomorrow." He calls Midland and then emails them regarding cyanide. "Any tracking info yet?" By 5 p.m. or so, James tells Karin via text, "I love you and I'm so excited to see you on Thursday." After 6 p.m., James texts Caitlin, "Is anyone working in the office tomorrow?" She asks, "Do you need to get into the office?" James replies, "I do." Pretty early, like 8 a.m. Overall that day, there are 4 emails and 2 calls to Midland regarding cyanide, 4 emails to Aduke regarding oleander, and 15 texts with dental employees regarding deliveries. March 11th, 2023. James arrives at Parker, alone with Angela, around 7:30 a.m. He goes to the office, texts employees, "Can anyone come unlock the office?" James goes home, back to Parker, back to the office, over to a Marine's house for a key, and then back to the office around 10 a.m. By March 11th, James and Karin were already deep into their insane, frenzied communications. They would eventually send each other a whopping 4,000 text messages over an 18-day period. Personally, I stayed up past midnight reading the 265 pages worth of crazy messages I've linked to below. Karin began concocting updated plans to fly out to see her new love in Colorado after her initial plans to see James in early March fell through. James lied and told Karin that he stayed in an apartment, and at times at the McMansion, he claimed he shared with his soon-to-be ex-wife, I believe, especially as Angela's mysterious illness worsened. Karin wrote, "I think I'd be uncomfortable staying in your bed you shared with Angela." It was March 5th when Karin asked, "Is this your last night with the girls then? Is Angela coming home?" James replied, "It is. She flies in tomorrow afternoon sometime. I'm kinda sad. I'm not going to like going back to the apartment and leaving them here." 6 days later, the doctor's entire ruse was working. Karin was falling for him, hook, line, and sinker. James wrote, "Just for the record, I will never drug you. I mean, in case that was something you were ever worried about." Karin wrote, "Please don't turn out to put us on Dateline or something." March 11th, Angela suffers. James is busy. He comes home at 1:36 p.m. and later with his family goes to Parker. James texts Karin, "I love you." James and his family go home, and he texts Karin at 3:26 p.m. "I love hearing and feeling you getting so turned on and excited and having a you-know-what with me on the phone." James goes back to the office 6:28 p.m., then emails Midland about that cyanide again. "Waiting at my office all day for the shipment. Please send me the tracking information when you get it." James comes back home at 9:14 p.m., goes back to Parker, comes home again, mixes substance, places syringe in a backpack, then leaves at 10:53 p.m. or later after coming back in the house for something. James is at Parker before midnight. Angela crashes at approximately 12:15 a.m. and is resuscitated. This is how James will explain Angela's sickness to his mistress the next day. "So the hospital just called me at 12:30. Ange crashed. Oxygen saturation was in the 50s. They couldn't wake her up right away. Her heart rate was in the 140s. So I'm here now. They took blood cultures to check for infection, and they're checking her troponin too. Waiting for a chest x-ray now. They ordered an EEG for the morning. She's sleeping, still seemed totally out of it. I'll keep you posted." Nearly an hour later, James tries to turn himself into a sympathetic victim, the would-be widower, when he writes, "Sorry to call twice in a row so late. I just thought maybe there was an off chance that I could reach you because I kind of need somebody to talk to after what I just went through at the hospital. Please don't feel guilty for not answering. I just wanted you to know why there were a couple of phone calls in the middle of the night. I love you and I hope you sleep well." Of course, James knew Karin would feel sorry for missing his phone calls. He didn't tell her that he had been in and out of his house, continuing his sinister plans on March 11th. James didn't explain that he was the reason why Angela drank a protein shake the morning of March 9th and her symptoms worsened. In his opening statements, Ryan Brackley, a lawyer for the prosecution, told the court, "There's a moment on March 9th where her kids find her passed out. fainted. There's a moment on March 9th where she crawls across the floor because she can't get up and she goes back to the hospital. Indeed, James won't admit that. While Angela was admitted to Advent Health Parker Hospital for the second time in recent days and will remain at the hospital until March 14th, he was using his free time to focus on how her bad health was impacting him. The morning of March 12th, James texts Karin, "I'm okay. I was a mess last night, partly because it was just late and surprising to get a call, and it was just a lot watching like 5 nurses and a doctor all work on getting her revived. I had about 30 minutes of winding down to do once I got home, but then I slept like a rock from 3:30 to 7:30. This morning I'm feeling weird. Not sure how to describe it. On one hand, I'm just kind of compartmentalizing and I'm just getting the kids ready for church. I'm heading out the door for that now, and that's actually been good for me mentally. I need some time with the Lord, and it will be a nice break from what's going on in the world right now. I am a little worried about how the kids are going to take it once I tell them that their mom crashed last night because I didn't tell them yet today. Despite all his suffering with a sick, estranged wife, as James would have Karin believe, he still wants his mistress to come in town for a visit. He writes, "Thank you for all of this. I really don't want to even think about you rescheduling. I am so excited to see you, and I am really, really looking forward to it. I think I need that. I also like your idea about postponing on telling the kids until maybe we have some more information. I think that's a good idea." As Angela fights for her life during these horrible days and her loved ones grow increasingly concerned, James keeps sending flirty texts to his mistress and playing his woe is me game. James texts, "I'm going to lie down for a bit. Maybe a long bit. I'm so tired. Wish you could nap with me." He brags about the song he allegedly wrote for her. James writes, "The song is completely finished now. I think it sounds really good. I hope you like it when you get to hear it."
Recognizing who she is when she used to be reluctant to dream. And she lets him see inside her 'cause she is his, and his touch reassures her longing. It's the first time she's not at the end of her rope, and she loves that she feels that she finally has the faith to hope. And she knows every day he says it, that she no longer has to be tough, and she finally feels like enough.
And while police would eventually gather the photos of Angela, literally on her deathbed, in the hospital, or at home, that James seemingly sends to Karin, his texts would be interspersed with praises for his good-looking adultery partner. James gushes, "Hi, baby, looking good. Thanks for the pics." Karin later told 2020 and other news organizations that she never physically consummated the relationship with James and that they only made out. Yet one scene in these text messages describes James being a cunning linguist in Las Vegas. If you get my drift, these movements that James makes late during the night are important considering the fact that the court documents say he mixes some type of substance and places it in a syringe inside his backpack before he returns to Parker. Shortly after these moments during which James is caught on camera in his home, Angela would crash and be resuscitated. Was he so bold and brutish and obtuse that he forgot the cameras inside his home? And was this night simply his apothecary-like mixing of testing out a deadly brew that would eventually accomplish one of his deadly sins against his wife of 23 years? In previous days, James wrote to Karin about Angela. She's just resting on the couch, but she looks like death warmed over. He kept bringing up his not so subtle and not so subconscious thoughts of his wife dying and blaming her for it all. On March 8th, he wrote to Karin, "Okay, I thought I just walked in on a dead woman. She was all contorted in the bed and super pale and cold, and her eyes were closed, but in that way that makes it look like they might be open. Turns out, not dead. Geez, though. I wonder what her PCP will turn up tomorrow?" James continued as if preparing everyone for an eventual outcome, not even having enough sympathy or empathy for his young daughter to stop what he was doing. He wrote to Karin, "Okay, so this is really sad. Today when I left to go to work, my daughter was worried that she wouldn't be able to reach me on my phone if I was with patients. So she wanted to know what my office phone number was so that she could call if her mom fell and couldn't be revived. She wrote it on the fridge in window marker. This breaks my heart. I hope they figure out what's wrong with her, and I swear if Ange did this to herself, I will never forgive her." Over the next critical few days, James would continue to paint a picture of his wife as some troubled, distant woman who was bent on going to heaven early. James wrote, "She's trying to die in bed. She accused me of being the reason she's sick. Feelings. I'm divorcing a woman who is the mother of my children who seems to be trying her hardest to die." Even as his wife struggled to stay alive, James couldn't help sending skeezy texts to his mistress. He wrote, "Baby, my body belongs to you, so I have to ask you if it would be okay with you if I beep tonight to thoughts of you. Do you mind? Wow. Thank you. Thank you for letting me use my body to release with you. My body is yours and I will never use it without your permission." The sicker Angela got, the more his plans to rendezvous with Karin continued. She wrote, "Wear your scrubs to pick me up Thursday." As smart as James thought he was, and as much as he envisioned living life as a free, unmarried man, his whole life was about to change drastically. But not before he continued his ruse to make Karin believe he was on the brink of divorce. He was likely lining her up as his next babysitter of sorts, so he could continue his philandering ways without having to split his income in half or more. James probably bemoaned the fact that Colorado is an equitable distribution state, meaning marital property is divided fairly, not necessarily evenly. A judge considers various factors to ensure a fair division, which may result in an unequal split of assets and debts. With Angela being a stay-at-home mom of 6 children for years, she may have likely been awarded the house and more. You've heard the song titled, "It's Cheaper to Keep Her"? Well, in his mind, James was probably singing to himself, "It's cheaper to kill her." On March 4th, James had written to Karin, "I need you in my life. I need perspective on how to handle things with little girls when they get like that. Sometimes I'm not a very good dad in that way. I'm not self-deprecating. I know I'm doing a fine job, maybe even a great job. But there are things that I need help with, that I simply don't know how to do well. Anyway, anytime after that, I can FaceTime with you. Angela and I are going to talk tonight about what the next couple of weeks look like. I'm going to ask her if she can take the girls the 16th through the 19th, which is when I would normally have them. I would also like to start talking to her about setting up some time for us to begin talking about how we're going to split everything up and just kind of try to do some mediation before mediation actually starts. So I will have to take a break at some point tonight to have that conversation with her and get our schedules aligned, but I don't know when that will be. Probably around 10 o'clock your time, maybe a little later. And then, if you will still have me, I would love to talk to you even beyond that. I'd like a chance to call you and talk to you about how that conversation went, but if you are really feeling exhausted or tired, I can wait till tomorrow. March 12th, 2023. Mark and Renee Prey arrive. Mark Prey, the doctor's brother-in-law, testified how he and his wife, Renee, had driven about 12 hours through a snowstorm to Denver from their home in Utah after they heard about Angela medically crashing on March 12th. The next day, March 13th, James receives the cyanide he ordered. In ensuing days, Angela is discharged from Parker, but James has the nerve to instruct Angela's own brother to give her clindamycin antibiotic capsules, but fatal doses of cyanide are inside of them. James texts his mistress, "I'm home and am going to be doing the dad/brother-in-law thing for a while." March 13th, 2023, James receives the cyanide he ordered. Soon enough, James would get his wish. On March 15th, Angela checks into UCH and takes more of the supposed clindamycin. James arrives at UCH alone with Angela. Angela crashes. James texts Karin, "Crash, intubated, blood pressure 57/44. He starts planning to tell the kids about their mom. He writes, "That's going to be so heartbreaking." Then, sounding chipper, he asks his mistress, "What you doing tonight?" Are you still planning on coming tomorrow? Just leaving the hospital. You up for a while? I would like to get you a room at the closest hotel to me, which I think is a Fairfield Inn, and suites off of Prospect. You're an orthodontist friend of mine who came in town to support the funeral.
When she has doubts and fears, he dances with her in a darkened room, and she's holding back the tears, a longing and a love in bloom, though she's scared to let him see.
March 14th, 2023. Angela is discharged from Parker. James gives Angela clindamycin pills, an antibiotic used to treat a variety of serious bacterial infections. He even texts Mark often to administer the pills to Angela.
At 2? Yeah, teacher. Oh, gotcha. So they did be there for these kids, right? The little one. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. This is a piano on. Is it just like a portable piano? No. Hi. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it doesn't keep clicking all day long. I was just doing that. For mom. Is there a big can? I didn't know if you guys had like a metal canister on the island. Oh, on this? Yeah. Is there a metal canister with a lid? Oh, there is. That one's got treats in it. It's true anyway. Okay. Unless they all were fed to the dog.
On March 16th, Karin writes, "I will come. We can play the rest as it unfolds." By March 18th, Angela Craig is declared brain dead. Romans 8, verse 31. What then shall we say in response?